Beloved friends, today I want to speak from the depth of my heart about a moment, a single act, that brings joy to the universe. Picture the heavens leaning in, observing how small choices resonate across eternity. That one act, you might say, is insignificant. But in truth, it is monumental. It is as if God Himself smiles at a simple gesture of love, compassion, or conviction. This message is not just philosophical, it's intimate, personal, and meant for your very life. There is power in choosing to act from the soul. When you step forward, when you stretch out a hand to another, when you stand for justice or integrity, no matter how quietly, you are threading a tapestry that God sees. The cosmos knows. The spirit world leans in. And you, beautiful being, become a conduit of something divine. That's what we explore, how small choices reverberate in ways you'll never fully know. Consider the times when you felt moved to do something, but hesitated. Maybe you held back a compliment, an apology, a moment of service. Yet if you had acted, the world would have spun just slightly different, because God delights in the courageous heart that dares to act rightly. Even one compassionate act can tilt destinies, awaken faith, restore hope. You have no idea how much it matters. So I invite you to journey with me now, as we unravel the truth that you are chosen, and your one act, whatever it is, can bring a divine smile. Not because you're perfect, but because you dared. Because you aligned your will with love. Because you chose to matter. Let's make this personal. You are standing at a crossroads of choice every moment. God sees more than your deeds, He sees your heart. There are moments when kindness costs nothing, just a word, a gesture. Yet that moment ripples. Your simple act of understanding, of forgiveness towards someone who hurt you, rings louder than thunder in divine ears. Imagine you helped someone who didn't expect it. That one action may ignite faith in them, or in others who hear the story. God smiles because love wins. Because light shows up in darkness. Even if no one applauds you, the divine applauds. That's what it means to be chosen, to act when no one else knows. To shine unseen, so light may shine on. We live in a world that honors loud performance, but God honors silent character. He delights in the invisible mustard seed acts, unseen gatherings of integrity, selflessness, virtue. When you resist gossip, speak truth, offer help, lift another, those acts, though hidden, create heavenly music. That music matters. This is not about recognition, it's about alignment. When you choose what is good, what is right, what is compassionate, even privately, you resonate with the divine. You align with God's heartbeat. His smile is the affirmation that you are in sync with higher order. I invite you to consider, what act is calling you now? What small step could you take that God would smile at? Perhaps it's offering forgiveness to someone who disappointed you, speaking encouragement to someone discouraged, or offering charity without fanfare. When you step forward in humility, you transcend pride, and God delights in humility. That humility transforms. A small service given with a pure heart becomes a sanctuary for someone else's healing. That's the geometry of grace, one humble gesture expanding outward. God sees it. He smiles because creation is moving toward love. Resistance arises, pride, fear, judgment. That is normal. Yet overcoming it is exactly what matters. When you choose compassion over criticism, generosity over self-protection, action over apathy, you activate something in the cosmos. That single act becomes a spark, a signal that love prevails. And God sees. You are not insignificant. No act of love is ever in vain. Even when the world doesn't honor you, when no one notices, God notices. His smile is the only affirmation we truly need. Now, understand clearly, this isn't about performance religion or virtue signaling. No. This is authentic heart connection. It's soul language. God smiles not at your busyness, but at your sincerity. Not at your self-promotion, but at your sacrificial love. When your act emerges from the parody of intention, divine delight follows. What intention is growing in you? Let it surface. Let it move. Don't let self-doubt or inertia stop it. Compassion is courageous. Empathy is brave. When you act, you stand in alignment with the truth that love transcends boundaries, that soul-to-soul generosity creates ripples of healing. Feels risky, yes. Vulnerabilities surface. But risk is the language of destiny. When you move in love, you step into purpose, even if you don't see immediate results. God sees. God smiles. And the unseen alignment begins to shape outcomes you'll only discover later. So trust the process. Trust the heart's impulse. It may seem small, but small seeds grow into mighty oaks. That's how God loves to work, with mustard seeds. Let's talk about faith. Your one act, born of faith, nudges the spiritual realm. It awakens unseen watchers, angels, divine orchestration. When you act in faith, speak truth, offer kindness, pursue justice, you send signals into the unseen. God smiles because faith is trust in the invisible, trust in the unseen potential of love. This is how destinies shift. And sometimes you may not sense anything happening, but heaven does. Remember, God is not bound by time. Your act today may bloom years later. He smiles now. The alignment begins. The promise starts to move even if your eyes cannot yet see the fulfillment. Faith is small trust born in big love. It needs courage. Yet every act of faith, however modest, is choice for the unseen kingdom. You choose light. You choose love. That's enough. You might ask, does it really matter? I tell you, yes. Even the smallest step of faith moves mountains over time. God smiles at that step. And so should you. Your identity matters. You are not just a singular human life, you are a chosen instrument. This world spins on the axis of soul integrity. When you do what's right, even when alone, you affirm the sacred order. That matters more than accolades. Now listen carefully, God does not look at your wealth, your status, your power. He looks at alignment. At heart. At whether you yield to love or to fear. And when you choose love, even in simplicity, you become a witness. A mirror reflecting divine light. We often undervalue small acts, the kind phrase, the moment of generosity, a silent approval. Yet those are spiritual investments. And the world is richer for each. God smiles when you honor that. Because He delights in creation redeemed by love. You are chosen, not because of what you've done, but because of what you choose to become. A vessel for peace. A messenger of kindness. A champion of justice. And that becomes reality each time you act. There is eternal testimony in your choices. Goodness echoes beyond time. That single act of courage, its service, kindness, not performed for reward, becomes part of an eternal tapestry. God smiles because you choose to matter beyond yourself. But sometimes you'll feel invisible. People may misunderstand. You may be criticized or overlooked. It's okay. Your audience is bigger. Heaven applauds what earth misses. Your act is logged in divine memory. God smiles. To persist is to trust in grace beyond sight. To act again even when misunderstood is heroic. You anchor truth in the world. That ripple can awaken souls. That ripple builds legacy. That ripple is tracked in the heavenlies, then God rejoices. So stand firm. Stand strong in your conviction. Your one act today is not only today's story, it's forever. God smiles because you affirm eternity. Now, let me emphasize, you are not alone in this. Others are invited to act with you. When one person steps in love, others feel the call. Compassion is contagious. Integrity is attractive. Generosity inspires reciprocity. When you live aligned with divine love, you unconsciously invite community. People drawn to you become uplifted. Movements begin. But it starts with one act, your act. And God smiles because you became a catalyst. That catalyst may seem humble, but its power grows. Your one alignment can birth transformation in strangers, family, communities. Sometimes you may not see it, but life changed because you chose to serve. God smiles at that choice. So offer your love. Share your strength. Take your stand. You may ripple waves that shift culture. All because you dared. So what is your one act? Listen within. What does compassion ask of you in this moment? Maybe it's calling someone who's lonely, offering a meal, speaking up for justice, forgiving yourself, releasing bitterness. Don't wait for perfect timing. Act with what you have, where you are. That is holy. That is brave. That is what matters. God smiles at authenticity, at movement, at surrendered hearts. Even if small, it has weight. Make that choice. Right now. Breathe. Pray. Let the impulse, born of love, be translated into action. Let God's delight in goodness affirm your step. Your act is part of the unfolding cosmos of grace. Take courage. Take your stand. Let your one act matter. God smiles because you dared to align with love. Friends, this journey is sacred, from the soul to the unseen. Your life is not just passing time, it's participating in divine mystery. Every moment is invitation. Every act is covenant. And when you choose love, when you choose courage, when you choose integrity, you bring a smile to eternity. Behold, you are chosen. Not for perfection, but for faith. Not for accolades, but for alignment. Your act, however humble, is miraculous. And God smiles at miracles born of simple, surrendered hearts. Live remembering this truth. Return to it whenever you doubt. Each time you act in love, you anchor divine intention. That matters infinitely. You have no idea how much it mattered. And so I speak to you now as one voice joining many. Choose love, choose courage. Step forth in faith. Let your one act shine. Because it matters. God smiles. And so should you. Sometimes, we are waiting for a sign. Waiting for the heavens to open, for a voice to guide us, for something spectacular to show us the way. But the truth is that the sign has already been given, and it is you. You are the sign. Your conscience, your breath, your awareness, they are all whispers from the divine urging you to act. And what is that act? Often it's something so simple that the mind dismisses it. A smile. A silent prayer. A single moment of presence with someone who feels forgotten. These are not small acts in the eyes of heaven. These are sacred. They are eternal footprints. And when you take them, the universe adjusts itself. God smiles. The ego wants big achievements, loud applause. But the spirit whispers, be faithful in little. That's where the real strength lies, in the discipline of daily kindness. In the consistency of compassion. These acts weave a robe of spiritual nobility around you. This is what makes you chosen. Don't underestimate the weight of your small decisions. Every moment is a spiritual training ground. Every decision is a step on the path. And each time you choose love, self-control, or service, you are walking in alignment with the divine plan. That is the smile of God. There's a reason why your soul feels restless when you hold back. Because the truth inside you wants to move. When you feel that stirring, that urge to do something good, something right, it is not random. That is a divine impulse. The question is, will you answer? Answering that call will cost you something, comfort, approval, pride. But what you gain is peace. Peace not of the world, but peace of the soul. That peace is the divine reward. It cannot be bought or faked. It is the smile of God resting in your being. And when you taste it, you'll know, this is what I was made for. Sometimes, acting on that impulse will feel lonely. Others may not understand. They might even ridicule or reject you. But remember, the path of the chosen is narrow. And yet, it is lit with a deeper light. You are never truly alone when you walk with conscience. God walks with you. So be brave, my friend. Follow the quiet urge to do what is right. Let the whisper become movement. Let the divine intention inside you become a lived reality. This is not just an act, it is an awakening. There's a sacred stillness that comes after you've done something good, not for reward, but simply because it was right. That stillness, listen to it. It is a divine resonance. It is how heaven claps. Not with noise, but with peace. With a stillness that reaches deep into the bones of your soul. This is how we begin to live not just for ourselves, but as vessels of something greater. Your one act is not just about you, it's about the people who are changed because of it. The world becomes a little less harsh, a little more open. And God sees. His smile is a knowing, the divine satisfaction that says, yes, this is the way. People chase purpose. They chase meaning. But the paradox is that purpose finds you when you step outside yourself. Meaning arrives when your love becomes action. The chosen ones are not those who seek power, but those who serve with power hidden in humility. Remember this, legacy is not built in monuments, but in moments. One act, one word, one presence can leave echoes in eternity. And sometimes, that one act becomes the turning point of someone else's life. Even if you never see the result, heaven does. There's a discipline to choosing love again and again. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. This is where spiritual warriors are formed, in the silence of repetition. In the hidden life of integrity. That's what God values, constancy. Think about it, how much easier it is to lash out, to withdraw, to act selfishly. But when you restrain yourself, when you return again to compassion, you train your soul. Each time you do it, it becomes your nature. And God smiles because you are mastering the self, which is the highest form of strength. You become like water, flexible but unstoppable. Gentle but strong. Compassionate but unwavering. This is the nature of the truly chosen, not emotional impulsiveness, but spiritual clarity. And this clarity makes every act powerful, even if it's quiet. So choose again. Choose the small act. Choose the loving word. Choose the humble step. That's what matters most. That is the way. That is the smile that heaven gives to those walking with purpose. Let me end with a simple truth, your life is a message. Every act you take, every word you speak, every moment you live, it's all writing a story. The question is not whether you are leaving a legacy. The question is what kind of legacy it will be. Will it be one of fear, of hesitation, of self-preservation? Or will it be one of courage, compassion, and unwavering integrity? That choice is in your hands. One act can begin that legacy. One act can change the entire course. And when you do it, not for recognition, but from truth, God smiles. He smiles not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Not because you never fall, but because you rise again with grace. That is the kind of soul the universe celebrates. That is the kind of person who changes the world, not by trying to impress it, but by choosing to heal it. So rise. Take your place. Walk your path. Let your life be the act that makes heaven rejoice. You are the chosen one. And today, your act, your one sacred act, matters more than you know.